Hey, 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 happy Thursday. So, little fun fact here, Mexico does not spring forward. So we're in Eastern time zone, but an hour difference because the United States won't give up that ghost. And so look who I found here in Mexico. And Kelly was one of the people that reached out to me from the beginning and was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And I was like, tell me how you're using it. Like, tell me what's working, what's not working. Like, I know what worked for me when I was first getting started. So it's really cool to hear from somebody else who was like, here's what I did, and here's what my team did, and here's how I used some of these guides to get on this trip. So take it away, Kelly.
Good morning, everyone. So this group kept popping up in Facebook like something I should be looking at, and I have to admit, first couple times I passed it by, and then by the third time, it was the end of November. I really wanted this trip. I had 22 blocks to go.
So 22 blocks, for those of you who are not part of our organization, is 22 times 500 volume points. And she had to do that between November and the end of December. So I'm not good at math, but somebody who's watching, what's 20 times 500? Is that 10,000? I think that is. So 10,000 volume points between like a 60-day time period. That's 5,000 volume points a month. Let's hear how she did it, shall we?
So when this group popped back up again, I clicked it, and then I started listening, and oh my gosh, you guys, if you follow the guides, and you start with the cleanup. That's where I started, the clean up. That made a huge difference in the algorithm. People were seeing more things. Then I went through all of the guides and realized, oh, you got to do more than just an occasional post here and this VIP group. You've got to get into stories. Stories get you you're heard a little bit further. Or the people that aren't, there are a lot of people I think on Facebook that don't necessarily just go to your page. Like they're just scrolling the stories, and so stories made magic happen. And it was like every day a block was closing.
So tell me, what were you putting in your stories? Like, explain, what were you holding products in your stories, putting links? Were you like doing call to action? Like, how were they interacting with you on your stories?
I did the call to action. I wasn't great on the links, not gonna lie, but I would get on there, I would hold a product, but not necessarily like so you could read it. I would hold it, off to the side or whatever. Look at this, and then I would talk a little bit about that. I would have a before and after. I would throw in more lifestyle, what I was doing for the day, how that product worked into my day. Again, so I just kind of did a 24-hour span of my day, but included the product in the beginning, some good before and afters. I'm golfing, I'm doing whatever. Yes, right. I golf in November. And then I would go back to that product and how it worked for me that day or whatnot. And I just kept following that. But I would put a link in for a direct link if you wanted the product, direct link, or I did links to my VIP groups so that they could get in there and see even more and hear more about it. So I kind of alternated my links.
Right. Yeah, that's a great idea. I get a lot of people opting in, even to this group, because I'll put something up in my story, a little video with a imagine this or imagine that, and then a link to find out more. So if you're not using links in your Facebook and Instagram stories, definitely start doing that. A little side note, the Instagram links, if you have them paired, like if you're in Instagram and it goes over to Facebook, those links don't always go over. So if you want Facebook people to see what you're doing, make the story in Facebook and put your link there. If you are more active on Instagram or you have more followers there, then make sure you're putting your link there. Sometimes they transfer over and sometimes they don't. So here they have all their water and glass. So I'm gonna let them go right by. Thank you guys. Look at all that. They put water, like glass water bottles, because it's better for the environment, right? But it's a little loud when they're going by. Okay, so what else did you? So in stories,
oh my God, I was posting everywhere I could possibly post. I had a lot of points to get. And it was the end of November when I realized I had
okay,
points.
so
really,
10,000 volume points in 1 month then, just
yes, about. And I pulled it off in 3.5 weeks.
3.5 weeks. 10,000 volume points in 3.5 weeks. That's incredible.
You've got to talk. You've got to not be afraid. Like, not everything's going to be perfect.
Right. And what did you have to
Check
lose?
mine out. They're not perfect.
Yeah, it's just
You have nothing to lose.
getting out there. So every time you put a story out, you're only going to capture about 20 people watching it, maybe 40. So those 40 people are gone. Your next story is going to be in front of 40 new people. Now, how much were you incorporating of the other stuff? So you went through and you did the audit, the cleanup, and then what else did you start doing that was different?
Really jumping more into Messenger. So I've always been one, like I'll comment and then I'll jump into Messenger. I'll reply to a comment, still jump into Messenger, but now I got a little bit more poignant. Birthdays, great. I said happy birthday to you on your page, but then I went into Messenger and said, hey, I saw it was your birthday, and I hope you have a great day. Tell me, are you doing anything fun today? Like, always tried to ask a question to get them to respond back.
Yep.
And that really helped.
Yes.
Anytime. So I started, what can I do it on? Anything I could do it on. And I was more intentional instead of just being the scroller.
Yeah.
And a like here or love there, like, oh, I could comment on that.
Yeah.
Do it. And then if I could elaborate more, I would jump into Messenger.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, even doing that, I did that through my VIP group too.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people in my VIP group I wasn't even friends with?
Yes. So
Sad.
were you friending them?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Friending
yeah.
from your VIP group is amazing, especially if you're getting some organic reach. You have followers who are not friends with you who are jumping in your VIP. Go friend them. And I love to say, hey girl, thanks so much for hopping to my VIP group. Tell me what made you want to jump in here. And then they'll tell you was the name of your this or the product you saw or the link, and they'll tell you how they found it, and then you can do that stuff more.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, friending from your VIP group is hot because those people want to know what you're doing and they want to see your posts, and they're not going to see them. If they're following you, they might see them, but if you're commenting and messaging in Messenger, Facebook pushes more of your posts out. Like when you're looking at the DMO and you're doing the engagements, you can do all your engagements in Messenger. You don't have to comment on people's posts if you don't want to, if you don't have time to. If you send 25 messages, you're gonna get a lot more engagement reach than if you do 25 comments on posts. We just start with posts because it feels easier.
Yeah, that's true. And then you're surprised how many people will actually start messaging you back and asking you questions. Or, hey, I saw that XYZ product that you put up, it was like 3 months ago. And really right before I came on this trip, somebody actually went back on my personal page and sent me a post on a product in Messenger. And that's all it said. It just sent me the post. And I was like, so I jumped back and I'm like, so hey, are you trying to tell me that you wanted to grab some of that mascara? And they were like, yes, can you tell me how much? But see, they sent me the post back to me.
So they were scrolling and watching, quietly stalking, and finally like, where is that post? And they remembered who you were, and they remembered your page.
Yep.
I mean, that's huge when people start telling you this or that. I can't remember what it was, but it was a this or that, and they are describing it to you and they're wanting information. This is how you get people to come to you. You should not have to go to anybody to buy your stuff. You should not have to inbox anybody and be like, hey girl, did you want to buy my thing? No, they should be coming to you and asking you for information. While we're on this trip, I'm sure you're the same way. I have tons of people who are like, I know you're on the trip right now, but could you please send me the information on that body contouring device because it's about to sell out. So we have people like inboxing us all the time, and this isn't rocket science. It's not anything expensive. It's free information. It's just, I mean, how much time do you think you spent like going through these guides? I try to make them super short and concise with no filler. Like, I don't care, you don't need to know my whole story and how I came to direct sales and this is what pin title I'm in. Nobody cares about that. They want to know, how did you get here? I try to make it really fast.
They are fast, and I think you need to have the consistency and the dedication, but really, if you get in there, like, plan it, put it into your day. I did that first thing in the morning. Jennifer is what I'm going to listen to. That was my wake up. Jennifer.
Aww.
It was, because it's inspirational. It kind of gets your blood flowing. You're like, oh, I can do this, and you kind of put your thing. So you'll get through a couple of the videos every morning. So no matter how far in or behind, wherever you are, start from the beginning, and you'll be caught up really quick, as long as you are intentional and still put it in there. So I just made listening to Jennifer was number one on my DMO.
Oh, thank you.
Every day, so that I could get through it. But I'll tell you, going into December with that many points to get this trip, I wasn't feeling so hot about it. And then on the 20th of December, when
it's crazy
that closed those blocks of 20 days, I was in tears, and I go live. I mean, you've got to be live and you've got to be raw. You've got to be you, especially in your VIP group and on your personal page.
Yep.
You've got to live your life out loud and be proud of who you are, what you come from, what you stand for. and it all kind of falls in place. People fall in love with you.
Yes, you are the niche. I just saw this somewhere else. I was about to post it in here. You're the niche, you're the niche, whatever you want to say it. It's you. It's not your products. It's not your company. It's you. It's your community. It's your organization. It's what you stand for, your personality. That's what people buy. That's what people follow. That's why people buy from you instead of the 6 or 7 or 10 other people they see selling the exact same thing on their stories. That's how they're going to connect with you. So when people come to the table, and I hear this all the time saying, the market is saturated. Yeah, look around, people. The market isn't saturated with me. The market isn't saturated with her. The market isn't saturated with you. So that's a story people like to tell themselves when they want to say there's a different reason that they're not successful. And the reason is always us. But when you want to point at other things, I'm telling you 100%, it's not the market is saturated, because there's no saturation when you know you are the product, you are the niche, you are what your customers are coming for. There was no saturation there. There's not even a potential to be saturated. There are 6 billion people on the planet. 3 billion of them are right here on Facebook. You're the product. Go sell yourself. So any other quick tips? The guides, if you don't know, if you're new, go to guides. They're all listed according to that DMO. So if you don't have a copy of that DMO, you can still grab it. The reason I do it by text is because Facebook will put me in jail if I try to message a bunch of people a link, especially if I'm not friends with them. And you probably won't even see the message. So it's easier for you to go get it, and I won't get put into jail. Text DMO to 404-436-0446, and you'll get an automatic link to a Canva document that you can print, share with your teams, whatever, however you want to use it. But it's everything I did every single day to go from 200 friends and a 6-figure income. Like, it's exactly what I did. I'm just giving it away, because what you give comes back to you.
Absolutely.
And once you have that, then the guides will make more sense. So each part of the DMO is a certain activity that you should do every day, and then the guides are broken down into some more trainings that explain that a little bit more. So you can go through them, and then you can hop on these. You don't have to go in any sort of order, but it will check off as you go, so you know which ones you've seen. It's really fast and really easy, and it's free. I just feel like this stuff should be free. Like, you guys should be able to get all of this and not have to go pay for it. But here's the thing, even if you pay for something, if you're just consuming it and you're not putting it into action, don't even waste your time. So if you're gonna watch a guide, watch it, make notes, and then go do it that way and get that into your daily action, and then go watch another one. If you can watch 2 or 3, but consuming them and watching them and then not putting them to action is not gonna make you any money. It's just gonna waste your time. I appreciate it, but tell us anything else you did for those last minute sales. You were asking your customers to go on a journey. You were asking them to help you get on this truck, correct?
Yes, I put it out there. This is what I'm trying to do. So in my VIP group, I just laid it out there the raw. This is what I need. This is how far I've got to go. Who wants to help me get there? And because I've shared my story on both my VIP group and on my personal page, all these people came together and they were like raising their hand. I could bulks like this, because they were like, if we buy, how many points can we get you if we buy this? And I'm like, listen, this is how
Incredible.
the points work.
Yeah.
And they all came together and just closed the bulks. And
Right.
yeah, it's amazing, the community. You can build your community to support you and love you no matter what it is.
Ooh, this phone gets heavy. I had to switch arms. So, and the only way you can get that kind of a rapport with your customers is to be giving more than you ask for. So, are your posts asking for them to do something? Are your posts asking for them, or is it giving them hope, encouragement? Is it giving them support? Is it giving them free tips, tricks? Like,
Yes,
give them stuff.
I always love to give them tips wherever I can. And when new things come out, like our body spa, I dove in, did the research, and said, hey, did you know this? I get on and personally show them how to use it. I get into Messenger and have the conversation. Why are you getting it? I really try to we're family. In my group, I promote it as you're not friends and customers. Yes, you are, but you're also my family.
Right.
And so we're all very close. Everybody cheers each other on, and that's just the community that I've built. But I believe in giving more. I've always been a pay it forward kind of gal.
Yep.
And so I try to give the tips. I try to give the tricks. Yeah, I put the things out there. This is what I need, and they jump on it. But I'm here. The people that helped me get to this trip to Mexico, I have bought little things for them here while I'm here, and I'm going to be sending little thank yous
Yes,
back
yes,
to
yes.
them.
What did
because-
you get? That's such a great idea.
Oh, they had those little, like the little baskets that
Yes.
they were giving us on our bed. So you can buy those downstairs.
Yes.
And so I got a bunch of those, and then some of them like candy. I know some of them because I've had personal conversations. One of my
Yep.
friends, she's really into the sugar skulls, so I found a fun little sugar skull keychain thing I can put in there
Nice.
with some sweet treats from Mexico,
Yep.
and all sealed up in a little basket. Makes it easy to ship.
Yeah. That's a
yeah.
good idea. I might have to steal it from you. I mean, we get the best ideas from each other, you guys. When you realize that people from other teams and other companies are not your competition, your whole world changes. So when you are out there in the world of social media, if you are not cheering another team on, another organization, somebody who's doing better than you, if you are not giving them your energy, you will never get that energy towards your organization ever. You should be giving away value, all your tips and tricks. You should be helping and reaching out. Now, don't give unsolicited advice, that's for sure. Like, you're not going to inbox them and be like, hey, girl, the reason why people aren't seeing your posts is because XYZ. But you want to be giving value, you want to be cheering other people on, and they're going to cheer you on. So the day that I stopped, I'll tell you this, when I first came into direct sales, members of my organization were like, don't friend people in other direct sales companies. And I was like, why not? When I worked in the corporate world, I was part of an association of other liaisons. I was a physician liaison, and before that I was a respiratory therapist, and I was in an association of other respiratory therapists who were doing and loving what I was doing. Why wouldn't I do the same thing in this community of direct sellers? Why wouldn't I want to rub elbows with people who are more successful than me? Why wouldn't I want to talk to them and ask them what's working? Why wouldn't I want to emulate what they're doing on their page or what they're doing with their teams and their groups? Why wouldn't I want to do that? Because success leaves clues. And if you aren't friending other successful direct sellers and you're not cheering them on, you're never going to learn how to do it, because you're not going to figure you're not going to figure it out on your own. And a lot of the times, maybe what's working for your company isn't specifically working for you. And so you have to find your own success, and you want to cheer somebody else on. So thank you guys so much. The topic of the day was stories. You need to get into stories. If you're not doing stories right now, I'm telling you, less than 50% of your following is even seeing what you're doing. Because some people only scroll the feed and some people only scroll the stories. Very few of them do both. So you need to put everything in both places. So 80-20 in your stories, 80-20 on your feed. You're gonna post about maybe 3 to 4 times a day if you're working my DMO on your main page. And then you're gonna do maybe 5 to 8 stories. It's just a recipe. It starts in the morning with, maybe you have coffee every morning. Maybe you do yoga every morning. There's a few things that you do every single day. Like, I wash my face every single night before I go to bed. Like, there can be bookends to start your day and end your day, and then you fill in whatever product you're talking about, whatever product you're using or loving. This is the way Amazon affiliates and LTK affiliates make their incomes, is they just post on their stories with links. You can do the same thing in whatever company you're in. You don't have to be having a party. You don't have to be having a get together. You don't have to do some virtual event. You can just post in your stories. Consumers want to grab links from stories and check out from user-generated content. If you don't know what that is, look it up. User-generated content is what's moving all the volume in e-commerce these days. And you guys already know how to do that, and it's up in the stories. You just have to get intentional and do it. So on my DMO, where you see it says posts, you can use those topics for story topics as well. If I post something on my main page, I stick it up in my story as well. Maybe not in the same words. I don't do some long post, but a little bit about it. I'm still going to use that same image in stories because people aren't seeing it in both places. And I link my stories between Instagram and Facebook. You got any more tips?
Not that I can
You're
think
awesome,
of.
girl. I am so glad we met. This is one of the best parts of this business, is meeting people that you would have never known otherwise. We promise you, the hard work that we did to get here is worth every single sacrifice. It's worth every missed event. It's worth all the things so that you actually can experience trips and activities and events that you would never have otherwise done. I did a post today that said the success is in the boring. And if you just do the boring every single day, you will find the least boring life of all.
Absolutely.
right?
Yes, this has not been boring at all.
You guys drop in the comments down below if you need help, if you have questions, and we'll answer them. And I appreciate you jumping on. Keep sharing this with your teams. Get on that next trip and go make a lot of money. Bye, you guys.